Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys have all been very well, and hey, it's exciting to get back in front of the camera and to provide you guys with a lot more value going forward. So within today's video, I'm actually going to recap what has transpired over the last week. Number one, the Logan Paul and KSI fights, what had happened from it, any numbers that have been released in terms of records, and yeah, what I've been up to recently with work and life. And firstly, let me just say that I have I'm not sure you can see, but anyway, I, for the first time in my life, gave blood last Tuesday, and you know, there's something satisfying, or there's something fulfilling, or just, you know, you've got that feel-good feel, if that makes sense, on, you know, the impact or what you're actually helping, or sorry, who you're helping out in the community or in society. So it was the first time I've ever done it. Was it daunting? No, not really, but you know, when you read through the paperwork or do a bit of research in terms of how much it actually helps people out there, it's definitely a no-brainer. I think my my perspective on it was, for me, it was more being lazy or not actually doing it, because I've seen, you know, family and friends continuously give blood. I thought for the first time, you know what, I'm actually going to pull my finger out, do something about it, and yeah, I actually thought it was going to take an hour. So what I'd done, I'd actually prepared myself, had my phone there ready to yeah, just read a few articles or actually listen to a podcast whilst they take the blood. But all in all, it actually took me less than 10 minutes. As the machine beeped and the lady goes, "Yep, you're all done now," I was like, what? Here I was just getting prepped, ready to go. Certain articles I want to read or catch up on reading, and as well a podcast that I was pretty keen to go through, which would have taken me to about the hour mark. But to my surprise, it was only 10 minutes. So yeah, that was pretty interesting and pretty cool nonetheless. So I think the whole process in itself takes about, you know, an hour, and you know, really 50 minutes of that is more the pre-work, the questionnaires, the other things that you need to do before, you know, you go for your first blood test. So hey, for those who are sort of on the edge or wondering if they should do it, for me, the fulfilling bit was I was able to help 3 lives that day. Well, they say it should be more, but 3 lives that, you know, could definitely need it. And hey, the first thing I was thinking of was the bushfires that we're having here, I guess, in New South Wales, and as well Queensland, and yeah, as well, you know, any of the traumatic incidents or, you know, crashes that happen. The first thing that came into mind was, you know, they need to do a blood transfusion. They need to give that person who's lost a lot of blood the blood back. So yeah, anyway, that was my thoughts around giving blood, and no doubt I'll be doing it again soon. That being said, though, I did feel okay throughout it. There wasn't really any, you know, dizziness or any faintedness, or there was really any side effects that occurred from it, but I did have an allergic reaction to the actual bandage that they had. So everything else was fine except for this bandage that I've never really had any allergies growing up. Anyway, that was ultimately it. So that was it. So that was the blood test there. Let me get back to the KSI Logan Paul fight. What had happened there was that Logan Paul had unfortunately lost to KSI, my boy. KSI from the UK, who, you know, I've been following for quite some time, a lot longer than Logan Paul. However, you know, both of them have inspired me in terms of how to create content, what to do in front of the camera, how to position yourself, I guess, in life, in terms of, you know, what they've been able to achieve. Not only are they 2 of the largest YouTubers in their respective countries, but they've also done a lot of philanthropy work, and, you know, a lot of stuff that, you know, you don't necessarily hear on the mainstream media or even in YouTube. But when you do your bit of research, you know, you can see that they've been giving back to a lot of the communities out there, which is pretty cool. So again, both of them I respect. But yeah, we watched the fight, and yeah, it was not too bad, to be fair. Out of the undercards in the actual main event themselves, they seem to have yeah, really shown what boxing was about, which is pretty ironic because, you know, they put the professional fighters underneath to showcase what boxing's about to this new community. It wouldn't be a YouTube event without any controversy. So, you know, there was a lot of controversial stuff that happened. But getting into the nitty-gritty, the numbers state, and again, Eddie Hearn has come out and said that, you know, they're still going through the numbers, they're still going through the revenue, how much was made. But for a fact, they can say that this was the largest internet event ever that has occurred online. And it was actually larger than the Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua boxing fight earlier this year as well. So again, it was huge, it was phenomenal. Again, a new demographic, a whole demographic of people who, you know, mostly younger age, and yeah, actually understand or appreciate the art of boxing. So that was pretty cool, and that was something that the boxing community, although seemed pretty, you know, annoyed about what was happening or what was going on, they could understand and appreciate that, you know, they were basically showcasing their sport or their art form in front of a new demographic. So that was big in itself. They're not too sure if, in terms of revenue, that it was a lot bigger than the Anthony Joshua and the Andy Ruiz fight, only because that the price of entry or the pay-per-view for this fight was only about £10 or $15 Australian. So I know that pay-per-views have been around the $50 or $60 mark here, or Australian again. So, you know, although it's got a lot more eyeballs, a lot more reach, they still haven't confirmed the numbers yet. So I'm looking forward to that. However, the social media aspect or the social media space behind it, Eddie Hearn was saying that, you know, these two YouTubers have been given the right to be able to express themselves on the larger stage in boxing itself. And again, those boxers or those people who have come back and said, hey, you know, why are they doing this? You know, they haven't gone through the actual process to do it. And Eddie Hearn basically said these guys have been able to build their brand. They've been able to build such a following where, you know, when money talks, that's, yeah, they've been able to showcase or put themselves in front of, you know, that mass audience. Obviously, there was something there for Eddie Hearn to take away, and as well the boxing space or the boxing committee or whatever you want to call it that, you know, looks after these fights in itself. But, you know, this whole process or the way that things have gone has, you know, been because of these two YouTubers and the amount of influence that they have in the world. So as we can see, the benefits, or as we can see, the impact social media and just having a branding or having a following has occurred. You know, they've been able to disrupt the boxing community. With that being said, though, as well, you know, you've got so many other businesses out there who have actually just caught on to, hey, you know, what is this YouTube land? What is this social media land? What is this whole online demographic? Sorry, not online demographic, whole online ecosystem that I'm not aware of. All I know is that there's Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, but that's about it. Like, what else is out there? So if you can dive a little bit deeper in terms of what is, you know, in the ether, so to speak, you actually find that there's a lot of rumblings, a lot of things that are happening that, although mainstream media haven't caught on as of yet, they are slowly but surely doing that as we speak. So that's basically what transpired from the Logan Paul KSI fight. You know, KSI is looking at doing other things, whether it be to do with music, philanthropy work, or just anything that he thinks of. And as well, Logan Paul, you know, once he sort of picked himself up after the loss, although he's not really doing himself any favors in terms of saying that he didn't really lose it, but let's be honest, you lost it, mate. So that's basically it. I just wanted to give a recap on the Logan Paul KSI fight, what had happened, what the boxing community was speaking of, the numbers that have at least been released, and yeah, my blood test. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Although it's not really social media-esque, I did want to close off the Logan Paul and KSI fight, give you guys some figures and facts on what has actually come out from, you know, Eddie Hearn himself. But I'm sure there's going to be a lot more numbers down the track, and as well my blood test and how awesome it was to be able to, you know, give blood and, you know, be part of the amazing people who do that. So anyway, I hope you guys can still see me as well. Anyway, guys, hope you guys are well. Catch up soon. Peace.